Hello everybody, I want to talk a little about inflammatory bowel disease, which I like to call inflammatory bowel discomfort, not necessarily inflammatory bowel disease, and dealing with our friends and our family when we have this problem. This was not really an issue for me because I kind of kept my issues in secret. I didn't tell many people about what I was dealing with or what I was going through. I told some people. I told my family, but they didn't understand the illness to begin with. They didn't understand what was going on, and I kept my distance from them so they didn't see. Now I did this for several reasons. One of the reasons was I didn't want to have them worry about me and all this, but the main reason was I didn't want to have to deal with them. And some of the things that they were trying to, if we disagreed, because I know stress aggravated my condition. So I get a lot of phone calls from people that are younger, still living at home, and they don't have the same option I did because I wasn't living at home. And they do have to deal with their parents and their siblings. So they can't hide it from them or keep their distance in every single case. So how do we deal with our family members? Well, we have to try to. I know it's difficult, but we have to try to emotionally disconnect the idea that we have this illness, and this illness is going to take over our relationship or the way we handle our relationship with our family, our parents and our siblings, and even our friends. And when I say disconnect emotionally is, whatever it is, if it's a disagreement with our family or friends, we have a way of dealing with it, or we should have a way. They're our family and our friends, and we know them for a very long time. So if I have a disagreement, let's forget about the inflammatory bowel discomfort for a second. If I have a disagreement with my parents or with my friends or my siblings, how do I normally deal with it? Do I get stressed out, which probably might have led to my inflammatory bowel disease to begin with, from getting stressed out about things that I don't have control over? Or did I handle the situation? Did I talk to them? Did I, come to nice conclusions with them? I mean, after all, your friends are your friends. So you pick your friends, and I'm sure you picked friends with, you can deal with disagreements in a friendly manner, and that's why you're friends. But family's a little bit different because they're your family. And you might not be able to come to the same or positive conclusions or a conclusion that makes everyone happy. But adding the fact that you have this inflammatory bowel disease or discomfort does not change your situation. It actually makes it worse. It's just another topic that you might have a disagreement with. So if you're still living at home and your parents are concerned about you and they're just worried about you, well, they'd be just as worried about you if you broke your ankle and you were laying on the couch. But you now it's a difference. You're different, not them. Now you're emotionally stressed because you got this issue and you're worried and you don't know what's going to happen, and now you got to deal with other people. Well, how would you feel if you broke your ankle and people were telling you to do things that you didn't think you should be doing, or you didn't think doing things that were right, or you were doing them and you weren't finding your answers? Well, when I say disconnect from the idea that you have inflammatory bowel discomfort for a second, what I mean is, let's switch it to that ankle example. Okay, I have an ankle that's swollen or sprained or bruised. If you're laying on your couch and your mom's trying to make some soup for you or help you heal you or help you, well, there's nothing wrong with that. So why is it wrong if you're in a bathroom for 20 minutes and your mom's knocking on the door saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I remember I used to say, "No, I'm not okay. I've been here for 20 minutes. Obviously something's wrong." But we have to, if we get stressed out, it doesn't help the situation. It will not help. It will only contribute to making the inflammatory bowel discomfort worse. So dealing with friends and family is something we have to learn how to do if we have inflammatory bowel discomfort. But we also have to know we don't have to have it for long. Of course, if you're in remission, it's much different than if you're not, but really it's not. Because unless your doctor tells you to do something, if you're in remission from inflammatory bowel discomfort, your parents and your siblings that don't understand it, they won't really care what you do much. But when you're in a flare-up, all of a sudden everyone cares. And all of a sudden everyone wants to draw their attention. But now you're better again, or they think you're better because you're not in a flare, and they think, oh, well, now I can just go back to treating them the same way. It can be quite frustrating to see. Sometimes it can be quite helpful. But regardless, we have to learn how to deal with our friends and our family if we want to get better from this condition, because they are our friends and our family, and they're going to be in our lives. You know, for me, I didn't have the support. I didn't have support of many people, even the people that knew. I didn't have support. And it made my healing, it took longer to heal, because the people that I did confine in weren't very supportive with the path I chose. I chose the path of not listening to the doctors. I chose the path of doing it myself and letting my body heal naturally. And, you know, people didn't want to see that, and they didn't agree with what I was doing. And they were very strongly opinionated about it. They told me they don't agree. And they were getting upset about things I was doing for me. But then I thought, this is for me, and I'm doing it for me. And if I'm successful, it's for me. And if I'm wrong, it's something I've chose. And blessedly so, I've chosen the right choice, and I'm better now. And I want everyone else to be better as well. And, you know, what you have to do is realize I got to learn how to deal with my friends and my family now. And if I'm in a flare-up, I got to definitely learn how to deal with my friends and my family. And that might be different for everyone. You might need to sit them down and explain to them what you're going through. Maybe you can give them a book or video, or send them to my website. Regardless, it's something you need to learn, and relationships are very important. So I think it's important that you, at some point, sit down with your siblings and sit down with your parents if you already haven't. And instead of worrying and just talking about options you have for healing and what you should do or what you shouldn't do with them, talk about the relationship. Tell them what bothers you, and tell them what stresses you, and tell them, I don't, you know, this, what you're doing stresses me when they do something. And prayerfully they'll stop, and that'll help your healing. All right, so that's dealing with friends and family when you have inflammatory bowel discomfort.